A stunning new interview from California Congressman Duncan Hunter, who's accused of using $250,000 in campaign money for his personal use. The Republican lawmaker pleading not guilty in court yesterday, claiming he's a victim of a political hit job. And you have to hear this, throwing his wife under the bus.
When I went to Iraq in 2003, the first time I gave her power of attorney, and she handled my finances throughout my entire military career, and that continued on when I got into Congress, because I'm gone 5 days a week, I'm home for 2. So, and she was also the campaign manager. So, whatever she did on that, that'll be looked at too, I'm sure. But I didn't do it.
But prosecutors say they've got proof of lavish personal spending, including $14,000 for a family trip to Italy, one of many family trips, $600 to fly the family's pet rabbit to D.C., and $6,000 for a trip to Hawaii. My panel is back with me. Matt Welch, Zephyr Teachout, and Chris Wilson, woman-to-woman Zephyr. Can I just say that again? Whatever she did, that will be looked at, but I didn't do it.
Oh, my gosh. There's so much wrong with this. And look, the evidence against him is totally overwhelming. We know where this trial is going. And this is a guy who supported Trump early, by the way, like Chris Collins, who supported Trump early. And what comes across is this guy doesn't even understand the charges against him because he's so corrupt. He can't even recognize corruption. And that's what you see in the entire Trump circle.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he seems to me in that sound to be acknowledging the possibility of corruption, but not on his own part. He also defended himself last night against one particularly ugly claim. Listen to this.
Did you call your wife and say that you wanted to buy a pair of Hawaii shorts, but you didn't have money, and she said that you should buy the shorts at the pro shop so that you could falsely describe that purchase as some golf balls for wounded warriors?
Yeah,
Did that happen?
I don't know what, I don't remember that, but I would never do that. I've never used any money, any campaign money to do anything, to buy myself anything, then slough it off for anybody else. I've never done that, Martha. And what they've done, what I've seen that they've done too, is edit some of these text messages and make them look different than they are. I can't pull down text messages from 5 years ago, but no, I would never do that.
They edited some text messages, Matt. That's what happened here.
I'm interested in his line of defense because it has some kind of resonance and threading of stuff that we've already talked about previously in the show, which is that he says this is the Democratic Justice Department going after us. This is a witch hunt. He's using some of the same language that we saw and concepts, not just every day from Donald Trump kind of talking about this, and Rudy Giuliani talking about this stuff in the media, but also that Paul Manafort's defense team gave at closing arguments of his trial. They didn't say witch hunt, but they said, hey, look, we're only here because we have a highly motivated special prosecutor who's rolling up witnesses and he's doing these things. That argument did not work at trial. That's pretty interesting, including on a juror who had a MAGA hat in her trunk. So Duncan Hunter is trying this out. He's kicking the tires on a defense here. But what we've seen this week, in a very momentous week, is that in a courtroom, at least, that defense is not working, even with Trump supporters.
Chris, the indictment alleges that the couple had been in dire financial straits. Quote, they overdrew their bank account more than 1,100 times in a 7-year period, resulting in approximately $37,761 in overdraft and insufficient funds bank fees. Their credit cards were frequently charged to the credit limit, often with 5-figure balances, resulting in approximately $24,600 in finance charges, interest, and other fees. This is not stuff he can say was edited. This is a paper trail, obviously, that prosecutors had. Is Duncan Hunter doing the right thing by going on TV and saying, I did nothing, I knew nothing, but maybe somebody did, but if they did, it was my wife?
The Sergeant Schultz defense. You know, I think it is really dangerous for us to, and I hear everyone jumping to just assume that he is guilty.
Not assuming he's guilty, but he clearly is blaming his wife for the possibility of something did happen.
I think we've all been conditioned by too much law and order, just to assume that everybody who is charged by something automatically did what they did. And, you know, you look behind me right now. I'm in Travis County, to Austin, Texas. And it reminds me of the time whenever the DA of Travis County charged a governor that he didn't like, Rick Perry, with charges that ended up being completely completely untrue. So there is, for us to all just jump to assume that he is guilty, that he did this, is, I think, the wrong approach. We should wait for the trial to play out.
And if it was
I
a
think we should all take a
Democrat,
little bit
would
of
you be
pause.
saying, let's look at the paper trail, which is pretty clear?
You know, Chris, I would
you
if it
be
was 90
saying,
days before an
well,
election.
so let me
If it
ask
was
you
90
about
days
your
before an
party.
election.
For the good of the party, given what's surrounding him, and given that the House is in play, should he continue to run?
Well, he doesn't have a choice. He can't be replaced on the ballot at this point. And that's the other thing that gives me pause in this situation is that they brought these charges after it was too late for him to get off the ballot. We've heard rumors now for going on 2 years that this was going to happen, and it now happens 90 days before the election. That should give all of us a little bit of pause to step back and think, wow, is there something going on here that's politically motivated? If he did it, it's wrong and it's a serious offense. But we should also not just all jump to conclusions that based on clearly poor management of money that he did something that is illegal.
I just got to say, one of the things that is so powerful about campaign finance laws, and I'm a campaign finance expert. I've spent my career studying this, looking at corruption, different kinds of anti-corruption rules. And one of the things that is so powerful and important about campaign finance laws is they're pretty bright line. So that you look at, is there a violation or is there not? And of course, you got to go forward with the trial. But this one, looking at the indictment, looks pretty cut and dried.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.